Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Real Sports Updates here, back again with another video. Today, I wanted to kind of touch on Cam Newton. Wait. That don't sound right. I want to speak on Cam Newton. I've been hearing a lot of stuff about his unexpected free agency that he's in right now, and whether or not a team is going to take a chance and sign him. And whether or not a team should take a chance and sign him. And my ultimate answer is yes. But it comes with the caveat. A team is going to have to be in an emergency situation to sign Cam Newton right now. His time has come and gone. And I think coming out of college, I don't think that he was a guy who was going to have that Tom Brady career. I didn't even think that back then. As good as he was, as explosive as he was, even in his rookie season, I didn't think that he would have that Tom Brady type career, just because we don't typically see guys who are run first quarterbacks really last that long in the league. So I do think he can add some value to a team, but it's going to have to be under an emergency circumstance now. There's no way that any team is going to come out and give this guy a guaranteed contract. I mean, even for the rest of the season, without there being like an emergency, an immediate need for a guy to come in and play the quarterback position. Just because there's not, and there's a few teams in the league now. I think we're starting to see it a little more. I know back in the day growing up, when I would go on the internet and look at depth charts for all the teams, there was almost always 3 quarterbacks on every team. Now we're starting to see a lot of teams carry 2 quarterbacks. They normally carry 2 quarterbacks, and they'll have a quarterback on the practice squad to free up a roster spot for another lineman or another DB or whatever. But I don't see Cam Newton getting signed. I really don't. There are a few teams, I think, in an emergency situation where he might fit. The first one being it might surprise some people, but I think the Rams, if Matt Stafford were to go down, their backup is John Wolford, and he was a guy who, he was a guy he was on the street, a year and a half ago. He ends up going into camp, and I think he's on a practice squad, and he ends up an emergency starter last year. So, and he was decent, but he's a backup quarterback, practice squad guy. If Matt Stafford were to go down, the Rams really don't have like that clear option at number 2. So I think he's somebody who the Rams could look at if that were the case, if that were to come up. Another team I think that can probably use his services in an emergency situation would be the Houston Texans. Tyrod Taylor, he won the starting quarterback job because of the whole Deshaun Watson situation, which is still murky. It's that situation is like a mud puddle. You can't see anything coming. You can't see anything clearly. We don't know what's gonna happen. Is he gonna get suspended? Is he gonna get arrested? Did he do it? Did he not do it? Well, nobody knows what's going on, and it's been drug out for a long time now. It's been about 6 months, maybe a little more than 6 months now that this situation has happened. So we don't know. It's not clear with him. Tyrod Taylor is a starter for now. They drafted Davis Mills from Stanford in the draft. We don't know about him. We don't know if he can play or not. Their quarterback situation beyond Deshaun Watson does not look clear at all. So we don't know about that either. So Cam Newton is a guy who can go in. He can step in and he can play. Houston's not a good team, but he can step in. He can play. He can play a decent quarterback for them in an emergency situation, of course. Those are really the 2 teams that stand out. I don't really feel, a lot of people talk about Washington. I don't think Washington is a realistic landing spot for Cam Newton. We seen the game last night. The backup quarterback, who's not going to be starting until further notice, Taylor Heineke, he played really well. He threw the ball like 46 times or something like that. So they have confidence in him throwing the ball. They have confidence in him in the pocket, and delivering the ball down to his receivers. And he looked pretty good. He did look pretty good. He looks like he can handle this offense, especially in that division, the weak division that they're in. He can definitely handle the load there. So I don't think Cam Newton is going to be in Washington anytime soon. Another thing I think that makes Cam Newton employable is his style of play. He's a guy. He is a run. He's a quarterback, but he's a run first quarterback. Has he developed a little bit as a quarterback? Yeah, he has, but he's a run first quarterback. He's going to run the ball. So I think for offensive coordinators, it makes it a little bit more simple. Having a guy like Cam Newton come in. You can call 10 quarterback runs, 10 design quarterback runs for him a game. You call some pass plays, he's going to run the ball, at least another 4 or 5 times. So you're looking at 14 carries a game from Cam Newton. That frees you up to, kind of schedule the run game behind it. You get 13, 14 carries out of Cam Newton. You give it running backs 15, 16 carries. Now you have, 15 to 20 passing plays that you can design, work on with him. And it kind of shrinks the playbook a little bit, and it lets you accentuate his strengths as a not just a quarterback, but as a player. So I think his style of play, it lends to him going to a new team, learning a quick offense and being able to go out there and just react and play, which he does best. So yeah, I mean, I don't think that the future is that bright for Cam. I don't think, he might get some offers next season going into training camp. I'm sure if he wants to, he'll be able to compete. He'll be able to compete for a starting position with the team that needs like a bridge quarterback. There's not very many teams like that now. Everybody most teams have pretty much locked up their quarterbacks, or they've drafted their quarterbacks of the future and just kind of have them sitting in the background, waiting to soak up some knowledge and get some seasoning before they go out there on the field and play. There's not really a team that I can think of that would need Cam Newton's services for the foreseeable future, other than a 1-year deal or whatever. And him being a backup, I think it's you can kind of rule that out. His status as a backup quarterback would be Tim Tebow-esque. Cam is a guy who has a lot of, when he goes somewhere, his aura follows him, and you can't really have a backup quarterback with the aura like that. You want your backup quarterback to be some nondescript guy who nobody really knows, Your backup quarterback should be able to walk into the grocery store and get some groceries without anybody bothering him. Cam Newton can't do that. He's Cam Newton everywhere. He's Cam Newton in LA, he's Cam Newton in New York, and everywhere else in between. So you don't really want your backup quarterback situation that way. You don't want your backup quarterback talking to the media every week. You really don't want that as a team. So, his prospects as a backup are just not there. He's gonna have to try to compete for a starting position as a bridge quarterback. There's really no teams who I think need a bridge quarterback at this point. Maybe in Denver, if Denver doesn't make a trade for Deshaun Watson or Aaron Rodgers in the offseason, maybe Denver. They don't seem to be that high on Drew Lock as of right now, but we'll see what happens. There's still so much of the season left, and if there is an injury, I think Cam Newton is the first quarterback on everybody's list to call in an emergency situation. So I do think that we will see Cam Newton on the field at some point during the season. I don't know which team. I can't tell you any of that. Can't even guess because you can't guess injuries. But I do think that we will see Cam Newton on the field. I just, we only time will tell when that happens or if that even happens. I could be totally wrong and everybody could be healthy, which would be, the ideal outcome. I don't wish injury upon anybody, but, I just thought it was interesting. This Cam Newton thing is kind of it's in the periphery of all the NFL talk. You know, everybody's talking about quarterbacks and this and that, and the Cam Newton thing is kind of there. It's the elephant in the room that nobody really is acknowledging at this point. And I know he put a statement out, I think on his YouTube or Instagram channel just a few days ago, explaining the whole situation in New England when he was let go and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. It's going to be interesting. I am a big Cam Newton fan, and I do hope that he gets a opportunity going forward to be able to compete, because he's up there in age. His body has took a lot of punishment, but he's somebody I think that can still play, especially if a team is willing to play the style of football offensively that he's used to. If they're willing to, kind of give in a little bit to a more physical run game, and allowing him to be himself, through that run game, and do the RPOs and all that type of stuff. And he's still got a strong arm. He can get that ball down the field as well too. So, but we'll see what happens. Wishing Cam Newton the best of luck. I want to see him in the NFL. I think the NFL is better with Cam Newton. He's a personality. He's definitely somebody who, he's polarizing to some degree. A lot of people don't like him, but he handles it all in stride. He handles it like a professional. He handles it with class, and he's always himself. He's always himself. He's never somebody who's trying to fake the funk or pretend. So I appreciate that about him. But hopefully we'll see him out on the field soon. But yeah, that's the video for today. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your comments about Cam. Whether you like him, dislike him, whatever. I want to hear from y'all. So thank you guys for watching.